Yeah, all on that right, all those idiot flag wavers. You hear me talking about that? I want to. You gonna expect that stupid ass stuff off on the liberals? That knee jerking? Hold on, I'm just playing that dumb. They got issues, guilt, personal issues. Michael Savage, that dude, whatever happened to him? He wrote a book called Liberalism is a Mental Disorder. Now, recently, where I messed up in this earlier thing, the guy wrote a book about how dumbass liberals he's seen. He was a liberal himself. He wrote a book he brought out in his book about this woman. They were in a neighborhood. Guy was running loose, breaking into homes, robbing, raping women. Everybody in the neighborhood knew it, all races. They were locking their doors and windows. Now this liberal woman, man, this is where these idiots are coming from. This guy talks about it, man. He's talking about his own bunch. He's the damn liberal himself. She refused to lock her doors and the windows. I think it was because the guy was a black man. She just wasn't going to do that. Got killed. He talks about it. How that sick liberal political correctness jive, the guilt and the issues. They get over there. Now, these feminists, I talked about the dirty little secret. I'm going to bring that up right now. They're supposed to be, and all these liberal women, a lot of them don't call themselves feminists, they're just people, blah, 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 and want everybody to be together, blah, blah. Nothing wrong with that. These people over there, feminists of the left wing and all that, but they're supposed to be politically advanced. But you wouldn't believe it, man. Cutting another woman down and doing cock blocking. That's what they call that over on men's thing. Cutting in between a woman and another guy, playing them old silly games that they're all supposed to have disowned and gone beyond that. More politically advanced, more smarter, more down with the people, down with our sisters. They do that stuff. They got these issues. Self-guilt. Self-guilt. White self-guilt. Their own damn problems. You see these people everywhere. Man, there's so much contradiction over on that damn counterculture and all that crap. Going back here, Ronald Reagan was called a communist by these years back. By this silly-ass knee-jerk bunch over there on the right. You know why he's called a communist? Because one time he was the president of the SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, the union. Oh, that's why the guy was a communist. Can you believe that crap? Good old Ronald Reagan. He's the one that emptied out all the mental institutions and closed down those mental hospitals in California. And again, here's that good old boy. If you want to bring this up, you want to put this means something to you. He gave amnesty to all those illegals. That's supposed to take care of the whole damn illegal problem. We're not even supposed to have this today. Look at the mess we got now, man. Affecting everybody. One way or the other, it's affecting you. You got people sleeping in the streets, man. Technology taking people's jobs. Damn ass liberals. And then on the right, man, they've always been for that cheap labor. They dominate out there in California. These Republicans, they're the ones that get in these guys' faces, smile at them, well, we're going to work on that. Then you got the other bunch over there, old Biden. Every time they, we're going to work on meaningful immigration. What in the hell is meaningful immigration? Oh, the wide open border freaks. You got these libertarians out there. They say they know how to handle that. If everybody just was a libertarian, it wouldn't be a problem. You're doing business. They'd be doing some weird libertarian business over in Mexico, so we wouldn't be having that problem. Anyway, these damn flag wavers over here, man. Now, you've heard me talk about these people. Now, I'm not talking about the general patriotic guy. The general bunch flag wavers. They're worse than that dumbass liberal over there. I'm going to tell you why. They know better. They know what's going down. And they're in denial about these stupid wars, the money being wasted. They're that dumbass bunch. And I've talked about that when I talk about the red Chinese and the gun confiscation thing. Oh, you got a legitimate problem, a legitimate bitch. And you know what they do? People wave that flag in their faces and they shut up. They're the ones I've talked about. They should have been demonstrating the streets years ago. Oh, no, they can't do that. That's what communists do. Well, hell, man, that's your freedom of assembly, freedom of speech. That's why they're worse than that dumbass liberal over there. At least those people are dumb, wrong path, not the right line. These people are in denial. That's part of the reason why the country's in the shape it's in. Like that Trump down there I brought up before. Tell everybody to boycott French fries. Where do they get these people? Well, I explained how they get these people. I'm going to bring it up again right now. You got these huge voting blocks. Now, a socialist guy told me about this. And I said, hey, man, that's right. I didn't think about that. Or he says he's a socialist. Another, we pin all those people down. Like that old silly-ass Communist Party, USA. There's other people are communists. Every third one of them's a damn informer. One of the leaders was an informer. They didn't call him out, man, because he's black. He's running the show a few years back up there. Guy didn't go to jail, no, like a bunch of years, like, he's a Finnish guy. Those people got arrested, man, spent time in jail just for thought. Then you had that real hero of the people. The Socialist Party or the Socialist Worker Party, they know who the dude is, man. They always hold that guy up. This guy told people not to go to war, not to fight for the rich man. He saw through that jive. You had a Marine guy, he brought that stuff up. Ernest Debs guy. He did time in prison, man, just for telling people, hey, man, you shouldn't go to war. You had that Hopi Indian guy, Thomas Mayayanka. All these conscientious objectors out there today. They don't know who that man was. That's the man they should be honoring. He did time in prison just because he didn't believe in war. Conscientious objector. Go out there and ask that bunch. Some of them are running their game. They're way over on that left. They're a bunch of liberals. And nothing but I know one of them, a petty bourgeoisie guy, and don't do a damn thing to support other things. Got some little old hustle. But he's famous. He went to jail because one of the guys refused to go to the Vietnam War. That's just a little hustle he rides on. He don't even know who Thomas Mayenka is. I asked the dude one day, I said, how come all you guys don't have a get-together? All you guys that refuse to go. Yeah, I don't know who they all are. I said, how can you think you guys would get together and have a little thing? He didn't know anything about it. But those knee-jerks over there on that so-called right wing, they know the truth about things. They're not misled or brought up in some home where political correctness and all that jive. They didn't get their brainwashing. They know what the truth is about things. But they're in denial. That's why you hear me bring that bunch up. Money thrown down the drain over this Ukraine thing. I brought that up about that hustle. It's going to go on back and forth and back and forth. All of a sudden it's going to stop. Another war is set up. Game playing for money behind the scenes. Well, they know there's these fiascos in Iraq and Afghanistan. They can't pull off another little silly war and get people to go to it. They've gotten a little hip, I'll put it that way. Some dude brought up, oh my God, we're going to have to rid China and all these people. You see these fools up on the internet making money. Oh, we're going to be invaded. They're going to have to bring the draft back. I'd like to see them bring that draft back in today. They think they had a problem about Vietnam. A lot of people are dumbasses out there, man, with the dog and pony show, but pull that draft back up on this generation of people. Oh, old fool here. You're going to lay something out on you. You'll get these migrants. Oh, yes. They can't wait. They can do that today. They can serve the military and get instant citizenship. Oh, they'll get all that bunch. And all the liberals feel that they feel sorry for. You should be able to just open up the borders, let them all in here. They had a bunch of this liberal bunch up in Minneapolis. Committee in with El Salvadoran people. All of a sudden they got a big wake-up call. They dismissed that bunch real quick when they found out El Salvadorans were fighting over there in Iraq or Afghanistan. People wonder today, how come all of a sudden El Salvador sent troops over there? That's where that guy, El Salvadoran guy, he made big news up there. Him and his boys run out of money, ammo. He pulled out about a knife, like something like a buck thing, a 3-inch thing, and he took on the Taliban with that knife. He became a big hero. And then another knife company, they made a knife and named it after him, but it wasn't a folder like a buck. It was a fixed blade knife. They made a knife in honor of that dude. He's in El Salvador military. He's in what they call the badass of the week or something like that up on the internet. Anyway, all of a sudden they got that wake-up call. Oh, they dropped that real quick. I couldn't believe it. And there's a committee in solidarity with the El Salvadoran people. It is strange how they wound up sending troops. All this stuff goes on behind the scenes. That money changing hands and double dealing, so-called double dealing leaders. Anyway, that bunch over there on the right, like I told you, they're worse than they know the truth about things and they're in denial. Talk to them about Nixon and Kissinger selling this country out. Now you got the people over there on the bikers, man. They're down on old Harley Davidson about woke or something. People talked about that years ago. Sonny Barger brought it up in his book. Said he went in right on the things again. I was telling the guy about that the other day. He almost got my face, man. Wanted to fight. I said, go read the book, man. He was right. Barger was right. Kept the prices up. Kept the productivity down. People used to talk about that. They say, how come Harley didn't really put them things out for every American? Like they did the Volkswagen over in Germany and Henry Ford did, the old Model T or whatever. Kept the production down so they keep those prices up. Nobody even knows anybody here bitching about that old Bud Light thing. I don't give a damn about it. Bud Light's not even an American-owned company. Those people are not even hip about that. I remember back when they sold it out, they said, oh, don't worry, we're going to keep our plants right here in America. I don't even know who bought it. I think it was England at that time. Today they claim it's Belgium. Budweiser. Don't even know it's not even an American-owned company. Now they're down on Harley. Well, they should be. Outsourcing a lot of that stuff. I don't know what the thing is. I'm not hooked into that jive. I was riding a motorcycle way back when, before it was fashionable. I only had one magazine back in those days called Cycle. And they just talked about things, the cubic inches of the motor, or something like that, man. Back in them days, they had some real hot shot motorcycle, Vincent, I think it was called. It could get up there about 160 miles an hour. Anyway, bringing this up. Oh, here's another. These people boycotting Bud Light. You got a clothing company out there right now. That's where all these old flag wavers over there, man. How come you didn't start boycotts? Good old Carhartt. Especially when they moved those factories down to Mexico. Should have had an immediate boycott right then. What'd you do? Not a damn thing. People out there still wearing that overpriced crap. Move their factories. China, I think they got them over there. I don't even know it. Somebody told me the other day. I don't wear the damn stuff. I might if you give me one. I'm going to spend my money on that crap. Overpriced crap. And they didn't move the factories out here, but they didn't go down on the prices. Wake up, you people out there. Should have been a boycott right then on that. The unions I'm talking about, he should be up on that. There's a big union. It's a socialist guy I know, real deal dude. Give your shirt off his back. You could call him politically correct if you wanted to. He was a working man. In the trenches, working in the factories. Something happened, and he brought it up Well, let's just say what that something was. His son, educated dude, pampered. I think he come out of MIT or somewhere. He goes over to this big ass union. He walks in and they give this guy a job starting $200,000 a year or $250,000 a year. This guy started out with that. And his father said, I don't like that worth a damn, man. That should have never happened. He said, a son and daughter of some of those guys on the line, they should have got that job. Some outsider walk in here. The guy bragged about it. I could never get fired. Riding on that union. While we're talking about the union, that's where a lot of unions get criticized. A lot of places you got dead ass wood, man. People can't farm, can't get rid of them on jobs. The union protects them. They're protecting that non-productive dude, that dead wood people. And that puts a lot of criticism on the union. And the overpriced stuff, man. They had a story up there one day up in Minnesota. This was the meat cutters union, I think it was. They asked these rank and file dudes, they said, you know how much money that dude's making? I forgot what the guy was making. I think it was 6 figures or close to it. They asked those guys, say, you know he's making that much money? And some of you say, well, I guess he's worth it. We're doing good. You had that union dude. San Francisco, longshoreman. When he died, he was only making about $28,000 a year. You had rank and file dudes out there who were making more money than the leader of that union. He's brought up everybody calling him a communist, all like that. But that was a real leader of these unions. He wasn't sitting up there in Grosse Pointe, Michigan. They got that story about that pretty correct woman, even a lot of liberals themselves, man. They're taking a hard, cold look at each other. You had a case, this was the same dude, told me about those huge voting blocks and how they work and affect the whole electoral system. This dude, he was with a group, a bunch of liberals, and they bought a building back in Minneapolis before all that high rent. These people dissolved themselves. I don't know who get all that money. You never hear about that in these co-ops. Something goes down, co-op, everybody's supposed to be making the same money. Or so they say. What happens when they sell a business or sell a building? Is that money divided up between every member of that co-op? You don't ever hear that talked about. Anyway, this dude was in something like that. And they had a woman in there. She'd come to these meetings. Black eyes. Jaw broke one time. Concussion. Beat up. A man whooping. Nobody called out her boyfriend. stood up for. This was going on a long period of time. We're not talking about some little slap around. I said, well, man, why do you all go stand with the people? Even if you had to walk over there some baseball bats or whatever. He said, everybody afraid to say anything, man. He said, afraid to be called a racist. Guy was a black guy, man. You wouldn't even call him out. Beat this woman half to death all the time. That's another thing. They marry these scumbags. They get hustled. That's been watched a lot of times in the black community. You see people show up, they're going to lead black people. Happened down there in Greensboro, North Carolina. I got all them people in a big mess down there. Went down there going to get, some of them had educations. They could have been out there in that community really winning minds, but going out there and doctors, stuff like that. I talked about that in the old celebrities. Instead of going and getting a job in a movie with nepotism, which is a disgraceful thing out there in the movie industry. And people should be making their sons and daughters become doctors and lawyers and going out there and helping the poor. They're supposed to be such hotshot progressives and liberals out there. Now, this is the same thing. One guy was a doctor. He went down there. Everybody knows about that mess. It was stupid. Things have been going on down there for years. Black people didn't even give a damn about it. Nobody paid attention to it. All of a sudden, these people come in there and stirred up a big-ass hornet's nest. When there wasn't no problem down there to start with. Something about the Klan. They've been down there for years. Some little old silly meeting. Nobody paid any attention to them. They were doing their little old thing because they're outsiders anyways. They get together and have the little old family thing. Anyway, getting back, some of these people have gone into the black community, half-assed revolutionaries, and the black people watching them. And they watch these hustlers show up. And in these communities, the people know who they are. They watch them show up, and they hit on these so-called white guilt saviors. They're going to do something for the black people. And they watch these people get hustled by these people, and then they just dismiss these people because they didn't see them stand up to them and call them out. They let these people play them, make chumps out of them. Now, in a real revolutionary bunch, like down there in Peru, they were going to those slums, and some gang would show the guns. Well, those revolutionaries would just show their guns and checkmate them. And there's one neighborhood they went in. So a gang guy comes up and said, "We're running this place for our little game. You're not going to come in here and take over." But there was a woman. They had a lot of women down in there. They made that revolution, really. This woman was the leader of that cadre at the time, coming in there. She didn't say a damn word. She pulled out one of them old 38s and blew it right between his eyes, man. She gave that bunch of them shock and awe, that criminal element. I've gone over to 30 minutes here. I haven't really got into all these people yet, these contradictions, all of them out there on that right. That lying bunch, they know what's going down. They ain't got the guts to tell the truth, man. And then you got those liberals over there, they're brainwashed or mind controlled on that political correctness. And all these so-called people who are boycotts didn't do a damn thing about that Carhartt. Watch your back, man. Old fool wisdom laid it out here on you. Cold truth, hard truth.